Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And we are back again with another recap of The Chi. This is season 6, episode 16, the finale, and it was titled Thanksgiving. But before we hop into the details of that recap, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, like this video, and click that notification bell so you get alerted whenever we post. And if you haven't noticed, it's worth clicking that notification bell because we keep dropping these hot interviews. We just got a really, really good one with Amari and Ahmad Ferguson, who play Bakari and Brittany on the show. So if you have not already checked that interview out, please do that ASAP. Check out that interviews playlist that we have over on the side. So without further ado, let's hop into the recap of this episode because what a finale. Wow. What a finale. I mean, they started off hot and let us know right up front that Douda was out of here.
Yep.
So it was like, oh, okay. That's what we doing?
Right.
Yeah, for a minute there, I thought we were going to get one of those who shot Douda stories. But then I was like, but they already did that when he got shot the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was not expecting the one of the first scenes to see Douda on the ground being covered up. You know, that right there got me because Tiffany, you and I had a somewhat conversation yesterday, and I didn't really want to know what was going on, but that was not what I wanted. I didn't expect to see that. I'm not sure of how I feel about it either. I mean, as much as I wanted Douda dead, you know, it's just I don't know how I really feel now.
Yeah, we all knew it was coming at some point, though.
Yeah,
we did. All the havoc we knew it was coming, and we said it was going to have to be somebody on the inside, somebody who can get close enough to do it. So we talked about all the players. We talked about Nuck, we talked about Zay, we talked about Bakari.
And I think we said Nuck. And I know I remember talking about Nuck. So that didn't surprise me. Well, you know.
It wasn't looking like Nuck was going to do it at first because when Alicia was there, it looked like Alicia pulled out the gun initially. And I was like, oh man, like I know that their feud has been built up over this season. But I was like, dang, it wouldn't be right if Alicia took him out. Not with all the other enemies that he's made too. Like, especially after he just beat down Nuck. Like, that's a lot of ammo to go after him. But not saying like Alicia didn't have anything, but it was just like, dang, do I really want Alicia to take him out?
Well,
I was gunning for Nuck.
And we said even in the last couple of episodes when Nuck got beat down and the bomb with Keisha, you know, we knew that once he found out that his kid might have been, you know, in jeopardy, we were like, okay, if anybody, it would probably be Nuck, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, he said to Keisha, that was the only way I could protect, you know, you guys. So, hey.
Yeah, so
he said that to them, but
I know,
and I know he wants to protect his son, but we know he had ulterior motives.
Yes,
he always wanted the #1 spot.
Exactly. So he got a 2.
Now you were about to say he got a 2-piece, right?
Yeah.
Because I was about to add to that, and I was going to say, you know, Rob. I mean, that was a big shocker for me because I was like, oh, he is really trying to make a enemy out of Alicia. Like, do he know who he's playing with?
Yeah.
He doesn't. Like, he doesn't. It's gonna be
drama
next season. Yeah, because I was like, he did that to send a message too, and he and Rob were cool.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. It caught me way off guard because Rob was just saying like, I'm not gonna keep, you know, being under your thumb. I'm not paying you no more or whatever. And I thought that like. That wasn't, I mean, maybe on the streets, maybe people act erratically and that's enough. But it seems like with the rapport that they had and the history, that he would have tried another way to get him to get down or either try to manipulate the Alicia situation a little bit better to, you know, get to Rob. But I was like, dang, he just cold-blooded.
Maybe if he hadn't had that conversation with Alicia beforehand, because that conversation with Alicia was right before he killed Rob. And I think what better way to send her a message than that? But he made a mistake. That was a mistake. And, you know, I think the lesson that he learned from Douda was, you know, Douda ruled with, you know, ruthlessness and brutality. And that's how he learned. But Douda was also strategic. And we don't know yet if it's strategic. And that's going to be a problem next season when he has to go up against somebody like Alicia.
Well, I think he also wanted to send a message to Zay because, you know, in fact, he said that, you know, and so I think in as much he was sending a message, but we did see when he went over to Keisha and wanted to hold the baby, I think he started to regret a couple things, and killing Rob, I think is that biggest one. I think he knows what he's done. So it'll be interesting this coming.
I mean, the way Alicia hollered at the end of the episode and was like hugging over Rob's body. I mean, like, that's her brother now. You done killed her son next. And it's like, oh no, she's coming for vengeance next season.
Yeah.
And that makes me worry for Shad because she introduced him as her special friend this week. And I was like, oh, so they getting in good. And I was like, now she gonna have Shad in some tricky situations. She's gonna ask him to do some things that he might not want to do that could either land him, you know, dead or in the bing.
She might even kill him. I mean, you know how erratic some people can be. Once you lost your child, you know, she could say, "Where were you? How come you didn't protect him?" You know, and of course he wouldn't have had an opportunity to do so. But you know, you don't know what mindset she's going to be in when she, you know, next season. So Shaw could be in as much danger from Alicia as anything else.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, because Alicia is dangerous to be associated with in general, especially when you got new enemies being made. Like, I think that she was thinking Douda was all she had to worry about. But when you have these younger street guys who don't, like, a lot of the conversation today is how the young people don't respect the code, the OG code, no women, no children. Like, that's off the table these days. They don't care.
They don't care about
so it's like, yeah, that's gonna be rough for Alicia to contend with because she doesn't, you know, have that kind of OG type situation where they respect the OGs. I was thinking too about how it was cute that Rob had just started like rebonding with Damien when they were saying, you know, Emmett, Damien, and Darnell, and he was trying to show them how to fry the turkey and whatnot. And he was just being like a real father figure for all of them. And I was like, oh, that's sweet, because like Rob had just lost his father and he was trying to like step in, and I'm like, dang. And then this happens. So this is going to be a death that really, you know, reverberates through the community. And poor Tiff.
That's what I was thinking. Tiff, you know, and because now Keisha's pregnant. So your partner is gone, and then you guys, Keisha is pregnant, and she's, you know, moving on, and she looked happy with Rob. But I also feel for Bakari, because you saw Bakari's reaction when he saw he you know, he vomited and stuff. So he's gonna be overcome with guilt and stuff. And he's in the mix, and he then made a choice with Lynae, you know.
Oh, please talk about that, please, because I was like,
it was a foolhardy.
You were on such a good path.
It was a foolhardy choice, and I think, getting back to what you said, Tiffany, the fact that he vomited when he, you know, saw Rob's body, it really is going to be questionable whether he actually goes with Nuck. Yeah, I would really question this relationship once he gets, you know, has time to think about what he's done, and the fact that he gave up Lynae for the boys, the crew. You know, it's going to be interesting how that turns out. Really.
Well, we asked him about that in the interview. I asked him, like, hey, like, why did you make that choice? And he said, and you know, guys, check out the interview to see what he said. But he did say he felt like he didn't have a choice. He felt like this is his life. Is that his life?
Yeah, in fact, I mentioned about his demons. I said, you know, your reckless street life, and your demons are seemingly, you know, haunting you a little more and more. So we now see he can't get rid of that street life, no matter how hard he tries. and then we question whether the professor might be, in danger because of his positioning now with Nook and the whole group. And the reason I say that is because Kadeem wanted to step in and help as best he could. I mean, when you confronted Douda about helping out Bakari, that to me showed a lot of balls. So I can see him trying to do that again.
Well, he did it with Douda because he went to high school with Douda. So he had a relationship there. So he used that. We don't know if he has a relationship with Nook to try to do that. I think he, if you have a relationship with someone and have a history like he did with Douda, that's why he took the chance to roll the dice saying, oh, I know him from back in the day. Let me see if I can intervene. But Nook, I don't know that he would try that with Nook because as far as I know, he doesn't know.
Well, remember in the interview, he did say I mentioned that we have to pray for a professor. And he said, yes, we do have to pray for the professor. Maybe that's foreshadowing, I don't know. But I can see the professor trying to step in again to help out because Bakari, he's gone way left now. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how long he stays down with Nook. And now, obviously, he's afraid for his life. But he was just on the turning point of like really going towards the positive side. And so I don't even know now that the book that he's writing necessarily matters now that Otis is dead. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but the details of the book might not matter because it's like, this man is dead and gone. He can't come after me anymore. Now I'm free to write. I don't know if any of that book includes stuff about Nuck. Now
that's still a code. It's still a code. He's still talking about what happened in life. He still works for them. So I can still see Nook and any of them seeing the book as like dry snitching. Like
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like if it involves looking, then maybe
But it's the life. It's the life. He works with them. So and he's talking about the life and how he came up. So I can still see it being a problem for them. Like anytime you are running your mouth, I can see that being an issue.
But also, remember we were talking about how Brittany and Bakari can bridge this gap they have. I can definitely see Brittany trying to explain to him, go ahead with your book. And maybe that might be a bridge, for them getting back together because what?
Oh, go ahead. No, I was gonna say, I was thinking, finish your thought, and I'm gonna tag along on that.
No, it's because there's such a gap now between the two, and she was very instrumental in trying to get him to finish the book, but keep it, as Tiffany said, keep it under.
We told him to write as a journal because she asked him, why do you want to write these things down? Like, and confess these things. So she was against the book.
Right.
And the code and stuff. So she was like, maybe keep a journal, like to get your thoughts out, but not writing stuff down and confessing to all that. Like there's still a code.
So do you think she would be more or less into that? I mean, whether it's a book or not, or a journal? Because see, I think it has to be written. I really do. I think for the sake of Bakari, he has to get it out. That journal mess, it's good for you, but I think
a journal can be a book, too.
Well, it can be, and in his case, it can be, and perhaps maybe should be. But I just think he has a story to tell, and it really has to come out of him.
So my line of thinking was, he had the conversation with Brittany and he was letting her know, like, I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget. And instead of talking about it, you got to actually put some action behind to show me that you, are trying to build this relationship with me. And so I was like, oh, so if at some point Bakari's life is in danger and a threat poses itself, would Brittany try to do this grand gesture to show, like, I really care about you? Would she try to intervene and step in and maybe take a bullet? I don't know if it's going to be a bullet, or would she try to, like, sacrifice herself to protect him and like this grand gesture to show, like, I really am sorry. I really was trying to be there for you. And I was like, ooh, okay. So maybe that don't talk about it, be about it type line.
Check out the
It's
interview. Check out the
towards
interview.
that.
Yeah, check out the interview because there was some discussion about how they come together in that regard. So you're right. I can see it both ways. But we do know that bridge has to be mended. The question is how.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how a lot of these relationships rebuild themselves. It was good to see Emmett and Keisha, rebuild after the news of the baby because they were contemplating not keeping it. And I was like, oh, like that was a shock to me because I know Emmett got a ton of kids, but him and Keisha don't have one together. And I thought that would have been happy news.
Emmett just keeps saying, keep them coming. It's like
well, she said
when I was a kid, just keep them coming. I mean,
well, she said at the end that she was excited when Lena asked her about the baby. She said she was excited.
You think she was really?
I think she was. I think she is. It's bad timing, but I think she was. But she was still scared because at that point they didn't know that Douda was dead yet. Right. So I think in the back of her mind, she was excited for the baby, but still scared about the threat. That So now I guess now that Douda is gone, she and Emmett probably feel like they can probably be excited now, not knowing about the Nuck situation of it all.
Now, do you think that Nuck is still a threat to the Keisha Emmett dynamic?
Yeah.
You think so?
In another way, not in another way.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's a threat because he want Keisha back.
Yeah, I think that's where
that's the threat. Like I don't think that he would hurt Keisha, and I think he is genuinely happy to be a father. But I think he wants Keisha back.
Yeah.
And Emmett is in the way.
Except that I thought it was interesting when he came to the door and wanted to see his child, and Emmett was like, "You got all this blood on you, man. You're not coming in here." And then we, said to him he killed Douda, and they both stepped back as if, "Oh, thank you." It was like,
that's why I think they're like, "Oh,
So it's now. So it is rather questionable how much Emmett allows him to be involved now because he thinks of him, much more highly than he did because he
probably feels like indebted to him now. But they don't know that he also killed Rob, and when that comes out, that's gonna be the conflict because
that indebtedness will be wiped away, and we're right at ground zero all over again.
It's gonna be a conflict all the way around. Think about all the relationships that are impacted by that. Now, Tiff and Keisha are friends,
right?
And now, her baby father Nuck has killed Tiff's man. So all of the dynamics of that,
and the relationship with Alicia and Keisha coming together. Oh my gracious, this is
all of that. Well, Alicia and Tiff coming together because they had just started the bond.
Did I say Keisha? I mean, Tiff and that relationship. I mean, it's a chock full of nuts, man. I don't know. It's a powder keg. Any one of these situations can blow this whole thing up. And then what does Emmett do? As the man of the house, he's got a new baby. He's got Nuck coming over daily, maybe now, trying to see his son. And what do you think Nuck might say after he finds out Keisha is pregnant with another child? Would he want to take his child?
I don't think he has that type of. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll still do them little pop-ups and try to be involved. But the fact that Keisha is having a baby with Emmett does change how he might try to pursue her.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting in and of itself, whether he does or not. But it's just something about him when he comes to see that baby. It makes me think that he wants that child. He would love to find a way to take that child from them. Of course, it can't happen. Well,
I think he wants the family. I think he wants the baby and Keisha. I think he wants that lifestyle. And then, and sometimes people use the child to come in and try to still be a part. Like, oh, I'm coming to see the child. And I think he is coming to see the child. But sometimes it's about still still being tapped in with the mom too, because that coming in all times and not, not having a schedule. We talked about that.
Yeah, it was just really interesting after, he killed these people that he comes to the baby. He got blood all over him and stuff like that. I'm like, that's not a good look, bro. It's not a good look.
I was saying I thought that he was scared, that he panicked because he had killed Douda. And then he felt like, I need some allies here. So he immediately ran to, to Keisha and Emmett because, he knew that they wanted Douda gone too. And automatically what they do, they let him in and let him see the baby stuff. So he's using that so he can have some allies. But it's only temporary, because once they find out about the robbery, it's a wrap.
Yeah. And speaking of allies, Zay seemingly fell in line, but we know he also wanted that number 2 spot and was gunning for some. He's very enthusiastic about trying to get in good with the church or whatever too. And I feel like he got some motives on the side. And so I'm like, well, Zay is doing something, and we haven't really gotten to see what it's going to produce yet. But I feel like he's not going to just fall in line, or at least he did this time. But I don't know if he's going to stay in line.
He's ambitious too. I told you he reminded me of Dre, who we saw on the show. Oh my, Dre is coming to the show. But
and just as devious as he's ever been.
And still always. He's still Dre in the church.
but getting back to Zay, I don't know if he has as much desires for the church. I think though now, with that example that Nuck gave him, the real question is, if you're going to get that top spot, you better do it now, because Nuck can only get worse. So, it just will be interesting to find out what he really wants. Does he really want that top spot now? There's a lot of cleanup that has to be done. Bodies, they say time and time.
And is he going to, I was say, is he still going to side with Alicia? Because Alicia made that proposition to Zay.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that still on the table? Is she going to use Zay to be the inside man with Nuck?
That would be smart, that she can get him up out of there. And what do y'all think about Zay's feelings for Kenya?
That's the problem, because now I see another side of Kenya that I didn't.
Oh yeah, she was playing with it. I'm like, okay, Kenya got a whole other side.
Yeah, the sexual desire for this thing, and I'm like, okay, Kenya, this is making you hot. So
Kenya got
issues now.
Kenya got it. But I'm saying about Zay, does he really care for Kenya?
I bet he does now.
I think he's starting to feel her, right?
Well, hey, look, you in the, come on, you're a gang member. You pull out your gun and you see this young lady that you've been, pardon the old expression, courting, and now you see her warming up to you because she sees this gun, and she starts stroking the gun.
Well, first of all, she knew who he was. She knew that he worked for Douda. She's asking questions like, "Have you ever killed anyone and stuff?" And I'm like,
to me, that was kind of like a lightheartedness in the beginning. She not really knowing whether she's going to be with him or not. But that gun scene, man, that was a little spooky.
Yeah, she's something else for sure. And so it's like we got a lot of good stuff to chew on for next season. But the introduction of this new character, Rotimi, who's playing Charles, and coming back into the church, I feel like he presents a whole nother threat in that, dynamic, because he comes in making demands and, trying to get his position back. And Zeke is like, I already feel it. I'm already training somebody new. You made your decision to go off and start your own church and it failed. So you got to live with it. And, Charles hints at, I know where your skeletons are hidden. So if you want to keep them in the closet, I suggest you give me my spot back.
Now I have a problem.
Like, Lord, they giving Rotimi all the little shady characters.
Now I'm more concerned about Papa now because of that.
Yeah.
Because Charles, he seems like, about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm more concerned about Papa now.
Yeah, they better push Papa right on out of there. Papa need to go back to his own church anyway. With his mama. She told him.
Oh, mom was hot.
Yeah,
She was hot. This talking about how he is, cozying up to Zeke and whatnot. And I appreciated that Vic was like, I'll try to use my bond with him to try to keep an eye on things and make sure he stays on the right track. So I was like, okay, Vic, he really stepped up and he's been, a positive influence on a lot of the young brothers in this season and last. So, just Zeke, I'm sorry, Vic has been, my hat's off to him. He been doing this thing in the community.
That's one thing I appreciate about the Shy, because the show is about community, and you can see that the brothers on the show, they mentor the younger brothers, and not just the younger brothers, because they're providing a safe space for each other too, like for Shad, for Marcus, and for all of them to come in and have that men's circle, and they talk about their problems and everything. I mean, that's a good example the show is setting.
Now, what he needs to do is have a conversation with Jake, because Jake almost set that dinner table on fire.
Listen, listen, Jake is a man of my own heart. I love how straight up Jake is, because he was saying what I was thinking.
Yeah, but that's almost too straight. I mean, that's like razor straight. I mean, people were bleeding and not even know it, know that they were bleeding at the neck. I mean, he just comes up and cuts you like.
Listen. I know. He's very direct and it's abrasive, but
it was also a little, I mean, you're at somebody's house and
you gotta be respectful.
And you sleeping with the man's wife that invited you.
Come on now. Come on. I mean, there's a disrespect, and then there's this other side of disrespect. And
she was out of pocket, right?
Well, she was too. Yeah,
she's out of pocket. In real life, he shouldn't have been there. Period. So let's start there. But number two, his delivery was definitely disrespectful. Right. But I appreciate his message though, when he was like, everybody in your congregation is poor though, but you preaching prosperity and stuff. Which is
I love his heart. I love his heart, but his mouth, his heart.
It was just his delivery. What he was saying.
That's what I'm saying. He speaks from the heart, and the problem is his heart and his brain really don't come together in terms of how to message. And that's where his problem is, just learning how to message. But as you said, so eloquently, he said what he had to say, and it was a good thing. I loved it too. I love what he said. It's just how it's
and it's timing too. It's like, it's delivery, it's timing and place for everything. So it may not have been the best time to deliver that message in the way he said it. But
it may not have been the best time, but it was the right time.
Yeah, so this was one heck of a Thanksgiving for everybody. I mean, and then I got another question for y'all. Are we putting marshmallows in the sweet potatoes?
Okay.
Where y'all follow on that topic?
you bring some sweet potatoes over my house with marshmallows, and you got to go out with the sweet potatoes. Okay. We don't do that in my house. Okay.
You can do that. You can do marshmallows. You can do that.
Come again? I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah,
that's like Boston Market style casserole. Boston Market used to put the marshmallows.
Tiffany, did you say you can do that?
Yep. I'll eat them both. Yep.
Okay. When I invite you over to my house for Thanksgiving, don't bring the sweet potatoes. Okay.
I had to ask.
I make good sweet potatoes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, then leave the marshmallows.
The real question is who made the mac and cheese?
Yeah, there you go. That's the question.
The people will fight you over the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, look, sweet potatoes too, though. That's my second best. You got to come correct.
Now, so, switching gears a little bit, talking about some of these relationships on the show, especially as it pertains to like some of the characters that have exited and might be exiting. So Kevin and Maisha are obviously having some issues with, his relocation to the West Coast. And now she's like, well, I kind of feel like he's, dodging me and not really paying all that much attention. I think his attention is elsewhere. And she's feeling like, maybe she needs to break things off with him. So I was like, okay, it's good that they still kind of bringing Kevin into the storyline indirectly, because it would have been weird to just like not address that him and Maisha were still dating supposedly. And then, talking about Nina, because Nina is getting ready to go, backpacking or camping or wherever she's going with LaPortia. And a lot of people were like, oh, so is this her departure from the show? So I seen a lot of that kind of chatter online. And I was like, oh, I was hoping that we would have seen, a head butting of LaPortia and if Dre ever came back. But
maybe
I don't think that's
we might see it in the season 7. I feel like I think that's a good way. Like if you don't kill them off, that that's a good way to invite them back to the show.
Well, maybe Winnebago. Maybe
yeah, the Winnebago. That's what I'm saying. They can come back. Yeah, that's a way to come back. Even Kevin. Kevin is in LA. Who knows? We might see Kevin pop up.
But I'd have felt a little better if she said RV. But when she said Winnebago, I'm like, okay.
It's like the same thing. I mean,
kind of like the same thing, but
it is the same. I mean,
RVs we typically are. In my mind's eye, they're a little newer and, have a little more to it. Winnebago could be any size, any type, So look, I don't know. I don't own one. So don't kill the messenger here. I don't know. But when she said Winnebago, I know I felt a certain kind of way. But hey, if they want to go and run the states and see how life is on the other side, I don't have a problem with that. But I still think that it's a bit too soon.
Well, it's a lot going on back in the Shy. Keisha, just dealt with a really traumatic event with, being kidnapped and raped. And then she's recovering from that. And she has Ronnie, who she's just finding out it belongs to Nuck. And then this big explosion happens and Nina's shaking up about that. So it's like back to back stuff has been happening. And she's caught in between wanting to live her life and be happy, exploring things herself and finally getting to live versus being there for her kids who are obviously already grown and they've making their own families and their own decisions. And so she's kind of caught between being needed and exploring her freedom. And I thought that Keisha's response was interesting because she was happy for Nina, but she was very hesitant at first too. And she seemed like she was upset that Nina was going to pick up and leave.
I think she was more. It would have been interesting. Do you think Nina would have stayed if Keisha said, "Hey, I kind of wanted you to be here to help me raise the baby"? You think she would have?
She probably would have, but she probably still won't come back because I mean, this is still a new relationship, and you're talking about traipsing across the country with this person and everything, and I think we're gonna end up seeing Nina back. And she'll probably be back in time for the birth of the baby too.
Yeah. Now, whether she's still with LaPortia or not is going to be the question.
Yeah, I think this short term. I think this is short term.
Yeah.
I think eventually we're gonna see Dre back. I do. I think this is a short term relationship.
And I think Dre was better for her than LaPortia. Just something rubs me the wrong way with LaPortia. I think she's a little too strong for Nina. I'm not sure.
Dre was like I like Dre because Dre was like a grounding force for Nina too. Like she was always the voice of reason, level-headed and stuff too. And not saying I hear the portion when she say, kids are grown, live your life, whatever and stuff, but I'm like, I don't know. And she doesn't have the bond that Dre had with the kids. Like Dre
ain't trying to get it
Dre's like, Dre felt about Kevin and Keisha and all them like they were like her kids too and stuff. And it's not like when the person was like, they grown and they can live their lives and stuff like that. Like she doesn't have the connection to her kids.
She can care less about her kids.
I don't know. You just gotta be wary of folks who just
step into your life. Step into your life and then try to convince you how you should, what relationship you should have with your kids.
Yeah, you don't even know that.
Right.
Like, and you just
Right.
like they grown, just da, 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 da. Like, and I hear that they grown, but I'm like, and what's her name? Is she like Lynae? Like, she just turned what? Is she 18 or whatever and stuff?
Fresh.
But she,
No, I said she's like a fresh 18. Yeah, so she
yeah,
even seems a little
she had a lot of trauma in her life. But I was happy to hear, and I think we had talked about that in one of our recaps, that her brother would probably be the one
Right.
to step up and say, well, I got her.
Right.
Yeah. And which, that's another thing Bakari got to worry about now. The big bro back in her life, and now that he done chose the streets over Lynae. And Lynae probably gonna talk to her brother about that, and he gonna have some words for Bakari.
Oh yeah, he gonna be like, "You're not gonna be you. That's what you chose. Stay there. Like, you're not gonna be running in and out of my sister's life."
Well, he said he changed, he's a changed man and everything. So hopefully, he'll find a way to talk to Bakari that isn't as violent as expected to be. But I don't know, it'll be interesting because it's just that Bakari, he's the one I feel sorriest for, and he's the one I had much hope for. Because when I saw him trying to change and actually getting out of that life without being dead, I'm thinking, okay, so this is cool. But now I question how long he'll be around next season because just not looking good. When you think of Bakari and Zay and Nuck and
but that's in real life. That's how it is, though. It's a struggle to stay on the straight and narrow and stuff. Like, it's it's the pull of your the streets, your friends, and then it's the other folks on the other side trying to pull you across the finish line and be in your corner and stuff. Because he said it during our interview. He said he feels like it's a matter of life and death. He feels like his life is being threatened. I don't think he just made that choice solely because he wanted to be in the streets. He said he felt like his life was on the line. And Nuck said to him, he was like, look, you're the only family I got, and how I've always had your back and stuff. And so now he feels obligated. Like, okay, this man is throwing in my face that he was there for me.
You think
that's what got him.
Killed him if he had said you think Nuck would have taken him out if he said no?
You know what? Before, maybe not. But the way he just gunned down Rob, he and Rob were cool. He and Rob were cool. Because he was the one who pretty much confirmed for Rob that Douda killed his uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, they used to be out on the step rapping and stuff, talking and everything. He and Nuck were cool. And Nuck gunned him down. So if he can do that, yeah, I think he would kill Bakari.
Yeah. So this brings us to who can get the hands. Because Nuck is high on the list. I mean, at top of the list for me. He has essentially replaced Douda. And I think that he's going to be a permanent fixture next season on who can get the hands list.
It's twofold because
it is twofold.
Because Douda had to go.
Exactly.
So it's the same time you want to get on the game ball for Douda because he did what needed to be done in that respect. However, the Rob thing that caught me off guard, and that broke my heart too.
Yeah, it did. I think that was impulsive. I don't think it was as much about thought as it was, just being in that new position, thinking that he had to, send a message, and he shot Rob. I mean, did you have to shoot him to kill him even? I don't know, but that was just a big mistake. So I'll give him one half the game ball and the other half is going to be the hands.
Now, this brings up another question for me. Roz, what does Roz do when she finds out that Douda is dead? And is she coming for Nuck?
No, she'll disappear.
Or is her boo coming for Nuck?
I don't know.
Right
I think
off so.
I think she would want to find out because when he got shot last time, she was trying to find out who shot Douda.
But
so she was involved. She was involved in trying to. So,
but she knows the street. She knows the game. She knows the street. She knows the, Roz understood the rule of the street, and so even if she wants to know, I don't see her doing anything about it. because
last episode. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm good.
No,
I was gonna say last episode. She said something very interesting when she was talking with I think it was with Bianca when she approached her, and she was saying like, I like to be. She's like, I don't want to be the front man, but I want to be next to the front man, basically. And so I was like, okay, so could this create an opportunity for her and Nook in a partnership, or will she be coming at him like an enemy? I'm really curious to see how her reaction is to him.
I think it might open a window for Bianca too.
I think
could be.
I think Roz is going to press Bianca out because Bianca and Alicia were there, and when the cops were there, you can see Bianca crying to the cops and stuff. So they didn't got a version of the story of what happened. Probably not the right. She probably ain't telling them what really happened, of course. But I think Roz is going to come to her and like, I ain't by that story or whatever. What really happened? Who shot Douda and stuff? I think she's going to press Bianca out.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens with that, because that's going to be another situation that could really gain some legs next season and create another feud amongst the women of the show. So, okay.
Let's see how tough Bianca really is. Let's approach Nook.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't think she'll do it directly. Maybe indirectly.
Yeah, I don't think she's that tough.
But,
I think she was.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so outside of Nook, do y'all have any other nominations for the hands list? I was thinking Jake, just simply for his delivery. His message wasn't.
Yeah.
But his delivery was wild.
Yeah, he was out of pocket. He was out of pocket at the table.
Y'all heard Gemma chiming in too?
I give him half. I give him half and half. Half ball, half hands.
Oh, that table was wild. That was pretty funny because everybody was saying getting their little thing off because Gemma said something, First Lady said something because Sarah was at the table or whatever. Everybody was getting their little jabs in.
Yeah, that was a hot mess.
Half and half.
Okay, so any nominations for the game ball? Who are we giving the game ball to? And I'm very conflicted because you almost want to give Nook the game ball for getting Douda out of here. But then, like you said, it's twofold because it's like, okay.
Because the Rob thing, that's terrible.
Okay, I gotta give him at least partial game ball because Douda was such a threat, not just to that small family, but the whole shy community was in danger of Douda. So to take, and everybody tried to take him out and were unsuccessful. So yeah, he did something that no one else was either willing to do or capable of doing. So game ball, half game ball, but then shooting Rob,
that ruined it for me.
Whatever good thing he did just took it away. So yeah, I still give him half and half. He can get a half. He can get an Arnold Palmer.
All right. I was also thinking to nominate Vic for offering to watch out for Papa, and also Darnell for kind of stepping in to be a good father figure for not only his kids but also for Rob.
And trying to teach him teach him the old school stuff. I like that about them.
Me too.
Yeah. So we had Darnell on the hands list. He didn't redeem himself.
Yeah.
And it looks like Damien and Emmett also made peace this episode where, Damien was telling Emmett about getting shaken down from the dude that he just hired. So I think next season, Emmett takes some action and intervenes in that situation. So we'll probably see it.
I was hoping that he would have explained to Emmett what was actually going on. I would love to have seen Emmett's response, but I guess I have to wait till next season.
Yeah, so that was one heck of a season finale. I mean, they really went out with a bang. And some major characters were lost. So shout out to Amon Shumpert, who played Rob, and also Curtis Cook. He's been one of the most hated villains for a long time, and he held it down because I say a sign of good acting is when you can get people to hate you, and really that carries with the character. People see you on the street and they're like, dude, Like that's how you know you killed the role.
He was amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, so shout out to them. It's hard to see them go.
Mm-hmm.
As much as you hate Douda, it's like, dang, it is
bitter. It's called karma. We knew eventually it was going to have to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just really hoping that that the show doesn't lose anything because he's gone. I mean, it's just as you mentioned, those are hard shoes to fill.
Yeah.
You were on every week we were on just to see what could happen to Douda.
Yeah.
Those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah, that was a huge part of it. Even in the kids, I told you, like, at least for me, I love to see what was happening with the kids and watching them grow up and the things that was happening there and stuff.
I also thought it was interesting too how like right before the episode aired, they were kind of showing like previous scenes and stuff like that, and they showed the scene with Douda's mom talking bad, on him, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she pops back up now that he's dead too, because she seemed like she was a little opportunistic. So I don't know. We'll see.
It was like a down memory lane, like they were showing all these moments with Douda, and that's why it made me think. I was like, oh, is this his swan song? Because when I saw all those different moments, they showed him beating Marcus and the mom and all this stuff, and I was like, So I had an idea that he would probably die. I didn't know it was going to be the opening scene. I was like, oh shoot. Right. Like, is that who I think it is on the ground?
Yeah, so this was really awesome. I enjoyed it, and they did a really, really good job with this season, and breaking it up into two halves was really nice. So that we got an extended season out of it. So I mean, I think I speak for all of us when I say we enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to season 7, seeing what they got up their sleeve. You guys got any last things to say before we close out?
Just want to thank the cast and Showtime. Lena, Helmut Grad. I want to thank everyone that we interviewed: Michael Epps, Shaman Brown Jr., Luke James, Jacob Lattimore, Amari and Ahmad Ferguson. We had amazing conversations with them. You guys check out those interviews. This was a great season. Oh, thank you, Showtime. Giveaway, y'all. Sheila Rashid, the artist that created the Smoky sweatshirt. Showtime gave it to me as a giveaway and stuff. I wanted to rock it for the season finale. Y'all got to see the back too. I got these pink hamburgers on the back and stuff. Really, I'm gonna wear them with my bubblegum pink ones. Super cute. So thank you. Yeah, that is really Showtime.
Yeah, I just got one thing to say over that. Y'all owe me 2. Y'all owe us 2 more. I want one.
Hey, I give you guys in the giveaway.
I'm not mad.
I ended the spot in the giveaway. I won though. Sorry, but
That's right. You entered the spot, right? You didn't enter.
I did the spot.
That's what I'm saying. I'm look, throw it. Look, y'all can afford it. Throw 2 more this way, okay?
But it's super cute. Let me see. My hair, I got too much hair. Yeah. I'm gonna say for y'all to see the back. So some other time, maybe I'll show it on my IG.
Send me a picture.
Yeah.
I'll put it.
Awesome. Well, this has been really great. To all of the viewers out there, thank you for watching. Please make sure you drop down in that comment section and give us your thoughts about this episode. And let us know what you think might happen next season as well. We're also on all social media platforms at The Spot Real Talk, so you can give us a follow on all major platforms. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel, click that notification bell, and also like this video. We are going to continue to keep all of the amazing content coming your way. If you follow Power Book 2 Ghost, we are still recapping that as we speak. And we're going to continue to keep up with all the hot shows. I believe Bel Air is coming back soon. Anything else coming back pretty soon? I know we got a second season.
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt coming back
in August.
For Godfather, whenever that comes out.
Oh yeah, Godfather. Whenever Force comes back, I don't think that will be this year, but when Force comes back, we'll see Ahmad Ferguson on that.
Yep. Yeah, so we got a lot up our sleeve for y'all as usual. So stay tapped in with us. We appreciate your viewership. Please continue to let your friends and family know about The Spot Real Talk. get them on board and tell them to subscribe to our channel as well. And as always, we appreciate you. We thank you again. And I think we're going to call it a night. See you next time. Bye-bye.
I'm not off the juice, baby, but I walk in a room and I'm stumbling. Losing the noose, baby, what a man gotta do to get up in it. Cruise down Melrose with the top down in the Astons. Tight like Velcro, we can talk about all of your passions and your fashion. We could fit a drink in the space on your passport. Driving to your place with the brakes on the dashboard. Straight to